And good evening Kampala, good evening Uganda, and of course good evening East Africa. You know, we are whole, and I would love to say good evening to everyone in Rwanda, in Burundi, in Kenya, in Tanzania, and of course South Sudan. Thank you very much for watching U24. Now, we are absolutely sure that every time you watch U24, you're inspired, you're motivated, and of course, you're educated. Now, thank you very much for watching The Desk. This is a discussion that is always worth hearing. This is a show that we are certainly and absolutely sure is going to change the entire overview of the political, the social, and of course, the economic atmosphere of the country and the East African region as a whole. Now more than ever, I'm Shadrach Shagaf Kisame. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I tell you, this is one of its kind. It's an exclusive, and we are here at Flutterweb. We are at its home, Flutterweb, like you can see. Very beautiful, modern art, but simple office. I like how it is not artistic, straight to the point, but I tell you, they get business. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, are you an entrepreneur, but specifically tech? When I say tech-prenuership, I mean entrepreneurs that are very much interested in technology. Ladies and gentlemen, now most suitable to aid this discussion into where we want to go and to help us understand some of these technicalities, yes, like fintech, is none other than, he's not new on the desk, he's been here before, Mr. Nilsim Sango. He is the country manager for Flutterweb. He's also a co-founder for Internship. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me introduce Mr. Nilsim Sango. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
You know, it's a pleasure to have you again.
It's a pleasure. I love being here, and I love what you're doing at the desk. That's why I have to make time whenever you call me.
Thank you very much. Now, you see, I've been following your social media handles, and you have been on the plane. Welcome back. How has it been? You know, I admire your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of what we have to do, you know, to have Africans tell the African story, and to show that, you know, we can do it as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
To have Africans tell the African story. We do not want whites telling our story. He has told you we want us ourselves to tell the African story. Now, Miltons, let's just dive straight to it. By the way, welcome. It was a honeymoon. Welcome back and congratulations for your wedding.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you know he's a married man. To all of you who are watching. So let's just help the viewers understand. You know, last time we talked about it, but let's just have maybe a fresh recap. Tech-prenuership. Yeah. Why is it making too much buzz around the country? Everyone, I'm a tech guy. I'm a tech guy. Is it that it's the next economic big thing? Why the buzz?
Yeah, like I've mentioned to you several times, and I'll mention again. To me, it's the next big thing. You know, because you know what it gives a chance for, especially in the third world countries, the developing countries, is you have a chance today as a techpreneur to address the whole world, to be a producer for the whole world, right? What was happening in the past was that entrepreneurship was limited by boundaries.
Okay, that's true.
You know, whereby if you, no matter how skilled you are at what you did, as a businessman, as a person who had a shop on Kampala Road, there is no way you're going to sell someone in the US.
That's true.
Or in China, or wherever. What Tech-Prenuership does now is, it not only gives everyone a chance because this material is available online, but also it means that you can scale it to a point where the world is your playground. And for me, the way I see it, like I've always mentioned to everyone I talk with, is for you to make $1 billion, you can't do that with physical entrepreneurship. You can, but it has to be so many years. Look at the companies right now in the top 10 biggest companies in the world, or even fastest growing. You find that it's either the oil and gas, which I mean it's $1 billion business, it's just been there forever. Maybe you say maybe travel, but the big ones, the new ones, the big dogs, these are tech companies.
They're tech companies.
You know, and this is because in a space of 4-5 years you can have 100 million, 80 million, 90 million.
What are you talking? 90 million customers? I thought it was in terms of dollars.
No. Dollars is in the billions.
In the billions?
Yes, it's in the billions. Because the thing is, how else are you going to address 100 million people around the world?
Wow.
If not through the internet? if not through technology.
Okay, so you're telling us your major or your core point is connectivity.
Yes.
Okay, so what does this mean to Uganda if we have such an avenue for making money?
Yeah.
What does this mean for an average Ugandan? Because you see, Neil, we are at Sodi's house.
Yeah.
We are in your office, modern art. This is too much rent.
Yeah.
It needs you, the big dogs.
Yeah.
So for an average youth who is down there, maybe let's say they're in Jinja, maybe let's say they're in Mali, what does Tech-Prenuership mean for them? How can they exploit that?
It's mindset, really.
Mindset.
Yeah, because if you see today Flutterwave in Soli's house on the 6th floor,
Yes.
this wasn't the same case 3 years ago. In fact, 3 years ago, there was no Flutterwave.
There was no, so this is just an innovation that.
And this is my thinking, and this is why I'm telling you, this is the next big angle for the youth, if you look at it correctly.
Okay.
3 years ago, there was no Flutterwave, right?
Yes.
3 years later, Flutterwave to date has done $3 billion transaction revenue.
Let's slow it down. Let's slow it down. Before you even tell us what it means to an average youth,
Yeah.
how has Flutterwave managed to make $3 billion in just
It has not
3
made $3 billion. We have processed through our gateways.
Okay.
The thing though is, you just have to address a need.
Okay, you have to address a need.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is, I mean, and we're blessed to be in the part of the world where there are so many needs.
That's true.
Today, if you want to innovate around payments in Silicon Valley, PayPal,
Yes.
Stripe,
Yes.
I mean, the big guns are already there.
PayPal
Making
is actually a big brother in
This is the thing. So, in Africa today, this is why, for example, M-Pesa just
Yes.
ran with it.
Yes, yes.
There was a need,
Yes,
an
yes.
action need, and there's very many other needs.
Yes.
Even at Internship, what we did was, the need was there for cross-border e-commerce. You know, how could you buy something from China and have it to you doorstep in 5, 6, 7 days, right? This is the scenario we're facing today. And this was, when I was in China with Alibaba, again, they highlighted this and said, look, when you're in a place where there are many problems, this is an opportunity. Yeah? This is a place where, just look around you. It's not hard to find a problem in Uganda, is it hard?
No, it's
Safe border wasn't there 3
yes,
years ago.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Right? Today, you cannot see 10 borders menacing a
A
safe
safe border. I actually sat on one the other day, and on their plates there was 10,000. The number was ranging to 10,000
That's right.
borders.
Right. Today, safe border now, as of last week, they're experimenting with deliveries,
Yes.
and they're going to begin doing food, and they're going to begin doing, bills. You're paying for air and all these things. This is the thing. 3 years ago, it wasn't a thing,
Yes.
right? And that's the kind of opportunity which you have in this part of the world. So for the youth that's at home, or wherever you are, really thinking of how can you make that leap, I tell you, your biggest opportunity today is on your laptop. The amount of time you spend on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat,
Yeah.
if you use that to go to, if you have the skills already, look for what to do, innovate. If you don't have the skills, there's free online, classes, Coursera, the whole 9 yards. Just improve yourself, add value to yourself, and I guarantee you that you won't be the same 5 years from now.
Okay. Now, Neil, I have seen you away from Internship and now Flutterwave.
Yeah.
What I wanna. This is really. It's not really political, but it's something that the viewers will want to know.
Yeah.
Has government helped you really? What has government put in place that has aided your growth in terms of Tech-Prenuership from the two companies?
Yeah.
Is there something that you can attribute and you say, okay, because government has put this initiative in place, it has helped me have a smooth run for my two companies?
So it may not as well be directly
Okay.
that government put this in place so directly I benefited.
Okay.
But of course, for any business to thrive, you need some sort of stability.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, there was no way that Flutterwave would consider even coming to Uganda
Okay.
if there was no peace.
Okay.
Right. Again, issues like connectivity are. I know there's a long way to go, but still, government has tremendously, tried.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing though which I would love to see is more direct involvement. Yeah.
Like, for instance?
Like for instance, in terms of connectivity, for example, if government allows the players to bring the connectivity, government can come in, for example, and do things like, look, price control. Like, at what point are you allowed to charge internet? If I'm saying things like OTT,
Okay.
that are then coming to kind of hinder, like the average innovator is in his house.
Yes, yes.
I mean, the less bills he has to pay, the better for
better,
him, right?
yes.
So things like that. I know we have to make money as a country,
Yes.
but again, there's things that you do that directly will impact, the biggest population, right? So I would like to see government, think about these things more.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not because they don't want, it's because they don't know.
It's because they do not
The
know.
people who are the decision makers are not giving a chance for dialogue for the people who are actually doing the work.
Okay.
Yeah. Case in point, I was in Nairobi for an e-commerce conference week, organized by the UN, and we were taken there by the UN. And when we were there, we met government officials from the Ministry of Trade, Ministry of ICT.
You mean the Kenyan government officials?
Ugandans.
Ugandan government
They also
officials.
went there,
Okay.
right? And so what the UN is trying to do is saying, look, how can we create areas where the government officials can dialogue directly with the entrepreneur who's in the innovation hub?
Okay.
And I can tell you this. For example, like they're discussing now the law on the fintechs, managing the fintechs.
Yes.
There would be like no fintech player at the round table. You get me? And so if we have more of these avenues where government can actually hear from what is happening,
From the real guys on the ground, yes.
there's and they're beginning to do these things. For example, we are in FitSpa, which is a finance association for the fintechs.
Yes.
So this kind of environment, it creates this dialogue where then government can know and say, look, people are actually doing amazing things, and how can we be a part of what they're doing and also help them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Nielsen, you talked of fintech, but we'll be going for a short break. But when we come back, we'll start right there. You maybe teach the people about what fintech actually is, and they'll get to know what the dynamics, the different dynamics in fintech. How can they get involved? Or did they know it was fintech? Someone will be like, oh, mobile money, and they didn't know it's fintech.
Yeah.
So maybe after the break, you're going to be able to break it down for us. Okay, now you are still watching the desk. This is a discussion that is always worth hearing. Now do not go away, because we are understanding the different dynamics that are in Tech-Prenuership, and we are going to be diving now into fintech. Do not go away. And welcome back to this very insightful episode of The Desk, where we are at the home, the beautiful home of Flutterwave, here at Soli's house, Lumumba Avenue. Now, thank you very much for following the discussion on Facebook. And if you are out there and you also want to follow the discussion on our social media platforms, you can go to Facebook U24. You just like the page U24 Television, or Shadrach Kisame, or The Desk 256. It's the same for Twitter, for Instagram, everywhere. Shadrach Kisame, U24, and The Desk 256. Now, before we left off, Neil Simsango was trying to help us understand why Tech-Prenuership is the next big thing. And I tell you, he's very confident and he is well traveled. So I tell you, sit back, relax, eyes on the screen, one show, one presenter, and of course one guest. Nielsen, what is fintech? Is it finance technology?
Yes.
What is it about? How can anybody, out there who has no prior knowledge about it, what can they do to benefit from this? Because like you are trying to tell us, it's like the next big economic thing. How can any youth out there benefit from it? How can they understand it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think, so first of all, fintech is a short form for financial technology.
Okay.
What that basically means at the lowest level is the use of technology as we know it.
Okay.
Because it's always changing, right? Sorry. So it's always changing throughout the time, it's technology. So the use of now that technology in the financial sector.
Yes.
And the idea behind this was some people look at it as competition, but I look at it as to enhance, traditional banking as we know it.
Okay. Competition to banks.
Some people look at it as competition.
Okay.
The way I look at it, even Flutterwave, they will look at it is how can we come alongside whoever is playing in that finance space, right? Be it a bank, be it government, be it whoever.
So you look at yourselves as a complement.
Yes, that is it. We basically want to help these institutions leverage our technology.
Okay.
Because what we know to do is make these technologies. So how can we use them to help them leverage that and improve what they're offering to their customer? Yeah. And so your next question was, how can anyone, someone who's sitting at home, thinking, how can I be a part of this revolution? And my answer is simple, is, again, links to the first discussion we had, is you see what is happening around. Say, be it, for example, mobile money, be it all these apps that are happening. in your situation, as you're operating your business or at home, at school, wherever, what is that one thing about finances, about money, that is a pain point?
Okay.
What's the thing what hurts you the most, when it comes to transacting or money? And when you identify that, then begin to think, how can I use technology to improve this? Okay. If you don't want to, for example, innovate from the ground up, you say, who can I come alongside with, right? That's one area. Second area is, okay, there's a revolution. Yes. What is most likely to happen? Jack Ma told me a thing when we were in China. He said, look, if you want to do something that people are doing, yes, you're already late.
If you want to do something that people are already doing, you're already late.
So he says, what put him ahead as Jack Ma, as Alibaba, and as China as a whole? China thought, the way things are happening now, what's going to be the next big thing in 10 years? Begin doing that now. You see, so in 1995, Jack Ma was an internet ambassador. And everyone was telling him, no, this is rubbish. The first thing he said, the way these things are going, the way I see the computer and the internet is going to be the next big thing 10 years from now. And was he right or was he right? So we have to think of that. Mobile money is now big. But what is it going to become in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? Begin to be in that mindset. Prepare for that time. And I guarantee you, in the next 5 or 10 years, you'll be a part of the big things happening.
Let me just talk about mobile money. M-Pesa was like the first avenue of financial technology, and they made too much money. Do you think any of our telecommunication networks can merge M-Pesa? And if you do not think so, why?
I mean, it's, the beauty about Africa is that Africa is segmented.
Okay.
Right? What that means is, wherever you go, any country you go, there's something that people are familiar with paying. Right? And that's why one of the reasons why as Flutterwave we're in existence today is a businessman today who wants to go to all the African countries has to readapt everywhere they go.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, that's
and our use case, our idea, our thinking was, why don't we adapt for the businessman? So when he comes and plugs into us, he's already adapted.
Wow.
Right? Wow. And it's the same scenario with M-Pesa. M-Pesa has done tremendously well in Nairobi, in Kenya at large. And of course, because they're also among the pioneers.
Yes.
This is what they call the status advantage. You basically go ahead before everyone else. The truth is that even with their success, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Really?
Yes. A lot of work to be done. Today, in Uganda, for example, the scenario is that very few people are actually transacting for commerce on mobile money. Right? So what happens is, I'm sending you money as Shadrach, you get it, remove it, do whatever you want. You get it, remove it, buy whatever you want to buy. Very few guys are actually trading as a use of mobile money, right? And this is an opportunity, right?
Yes, that's
because you see, in Kenya, you go to any till, you're paying, Lipa and M-Pesa. In Uganda today, it's not yet that vibrant, it's not yet that adapted to, right? So an opportunity is already there. How can we tap into that gap? If guys don't want to use it, why? How can we innovate around those areas where we say, let's begin to teach the merchant and give them the advantages of using mobile money? Around the world, there are different other problems, right? And so, still a very, very big opportunity the way I see it.
Now, do you think the taxes that were actually encrypted on the mobile money transactions, do you think this is like one of the biggest stumbling blocks for this kind of fintech, or Ugandans are just slow to adapt?
A bit of both. A bit of both. So Ugandans are not slow to adapt, but they're slow to appreciate.
Okay.
The value created, right? So they will catch on, and then it will be like a social thing. Ugandans are they're entrepreneurs, but it's more a social. It's a lifestyle thing, right? So if something is trending, it will be to be good, they'll use it and what, but appreciating the value that, okay, what can become of this?
Yes.
It's another story altogether. You find in markets where people are really aggressive on the business front in terms of appreciating.
Yes.
If you look at Nigeria, for example, if you look at Kenya as well, these are aggressive businessmen. Ugandans, they begin businesses, but they don't have that drive to, But again, it begins with, like I said, mindset.
Yes.
So a bit of that. but also the trade-off of a fintech or technology is people don't want to be paying as much as they'll be paying doing it on their own, or even more.
Yes.
So for example, if I'm going to send $1,000,000 shillings and I'm going to pay 50k, I will take a border, I'll go to the bank, I will bank it. You get me? So, but then you ask the person providing the services, why are you charging 50k? Then on top of his charges, the bank's charges, the taxes, the everything, he has to charge in that neighborhood.
Yes.
So in countries where this has thrived, if you look at any country, be it Sweden, in Europe, they have actually tried to go cashless a lot. Some parts of China as well. Government has been key in cutting those taxes, because once you cut those taxes, the more guys are using it, then even the little tax becomes a lot. You see me? So government has been influential in implementing this.
Yes, that's true.
Because it benefits the government. Transparency, cost of handling cash, insurance, de-risks the government. So government has been key at promoting this. And that's why I'm saying government needs to sit down at the round table with the innovators and understand where this is going. Because first they look at it like they're getting money out of the pockets, but then they're not.
Okay. So Neil, we'll be going for a short break, but when we come back to the last segment, I want you just to address how maybe you as techpreneurs can couple up with government to cut down this unemployment nightmare that is for the youth out there. After the short break. Okay, now do not go away. We are still with Neil Sango from Flutterwave. If you've not heard of Flutterwave, they are the next big thing. Talk about finance technology. They have a lot to offer. Just go to their website and you'll see a lot of amazing things. Now we are in their home, modern art but simple, exquisite office. Do not go away. We are still here on the desk. And welcome back to the last segment of this very insightful and also educative edition of the desk, where we are actually unmasking the techpreneurship side that has been alien to most of the youth, and yet it is the next big opportunity for you out there who has looked for a job and you've not gotten it, but you can still access a computer. Now Mr. Nilsim Sango, he is the country lead for Flutterwave and he is the co-founder for Internship. He's been helping us understand this. Now Mr. Nilsim Sango, let's just understand, how can we do this? Is it government to come and couple with you guys, or is it you guys to go and you say, look, government, this is what we have to offer? Or have you already done it? Or what should we do? Or have you knocked enough? Because you see, government can say, no, there are avenues, there are initiatives, there are this. So what is the friction? Why aren't we seeing the unemployment gap being closed down as a result of these initiatives that you're trying to bring in the line of technology?
A bit of both, I believe. I must say as well that the steps have begun, right? At least in the right direction. In the past, there was a really big disconnect, where guys are innovating in a hub somewhere or in their garages. You know how techies are. They innovate from some corner. Government is, in the parliament, in the big buildings, making decisions. Disconnect, Today what we're seeing is more involvement. So government has the power, more power to come out and look for these entrepreneurs. The thing was, they were looking in the wrong places.
Okay, so government should look for you.
Government has the resources and the power, right?
So Flutterwave, as Neil, you do not have resources to look for government.
You see, the thing is, you get to a point where you now have the resources. The guy I'm talking about is not Flutterwave. Is not is not a big dog. It's not Bank of Uganda.
Yes, there's somewhere.
He's a guy in the innovation hub. That guy, imagine him walking to the minister's office and saying, my name is Shadrach Kisame. He probably not even go past the reception.
That's true.
That's what I'm talking about. This guy though, he's in Outbox somewhere. He's in Innovation Village. These places, government now begins to know about them. And government begins to ask them, look, what's happening in your space?
Or in the incubation hub.
Exactly, right? Because government can still go to everyone's house. But government can say, let me be with the key players on the ground. The innovation hub is a good place to start. Government is setting up an innovation hub as well. So maybe it's a good place as well. Through NITA, through UCC. They can begin to now say, okay, we can't go to everyone's house, but let's be in the places where they're most likely to be. Through the universities, through the innovation hubs, government can then begin to have these round tables. government can also now say, from those innovation hubs, from those round tables, which guys have actually had some success, right? Because I tell you, we travel around the world, and some people even more than others, right? And sit at the tables with the who's who in this continent, in fact in the world, because technology, techpreneurs, as long as you can speak for what you've done, they'll listen to you. So these people go for these conferences, interactions, they come back, have learnings, and what do you do with them? You try to reach out to people in the ministries and what, and nothing. So government can then ask for, who are the guys who have made some steps? Where have you got today companies that have raised the tune of millions of dollars, $5, $10, $15 million.
Does government know these guys?
Some of them, they now know them.
Okay.
But I'll let you know that again, they don't know so many of them. And also because there's that disconnect of people not knowing what will they do if they know.
Do you think this disconnect is also as a result of the bureaucratic tendencies that are in government?
Yes, and this is in every government really. So what I believe is that even in any workplace, any government, there will be a disconnect because of bureaucracy. But then the people who are, key stakeholders, like the ministers for the youth.
Yes, that's true.
ICT.
Yes.
Even if there's still bureaucracy, still you would love to see the key, decision makers coming to the ground, and giving an avenue just to sit and listen even, because they come to talk.
Yes, but they should at least listen.
To listen, because as you travel around the world, as you travel to other African countries, as you see learnings there, what they've done, we're in position to actually pick those learnings and implement them here.
Yes.
Without fear. I tell you in the beginning, this is what the banks were thinking. So in the beginning, the banks fought the fintechs so much because the banks felt from traditional models of if a new bank opens, they've come to take away customers. And they thought that the fintechs were coming the same way. And I'll tell you today, the banks realize that the experiments that fintechs can do, the banks can't do them in-house because of the bureaucracy of the bank and the regulation. Shadrach, you can today innovate and say, I can now make an app which can instantly transfer money. Something which could take the bank so many years because of the way they had to do the process. And the bank now knows that if I partner with Shadrach, and then I put him through my due diligence, which is rigorous, once he has the app, I can then just leverage on his ability to do that. This is what the government needs to know, that we can now come and say, look, we all have one end goal in mind, is to help lives, create employment for the youth, as well as make some money off of it. Well, fintechs are willing to do a revenue share, willing to teach, willing to be on ground, willing to, because the youth don't want, structures. I can tell you that as well. They don't want the proper, hardcore 7 to 7 p.m. working and, but they can actually do cool things. And so this is where we need to find a way, like that nice sweet spot of how can we come together and then target this unemployment. Okay.
Now, finally, maybe you'll actually look in that camera and talk to that youth who is out there, who has tried to at least try to innovate, but things are hard. Where you're not breaking through, you're not breaking even. Yeah, I believe you had that time when you were still way back in internship. So tell that youth out there, try to tell them what you did actually. Give them hope.
So, it's the formula for winning is simple the way I see it, right? It's try again.
It's try again.
Again. And really fast. So the trick, if you ask anyone who ever got to a nice idea, is fail quickly and fail fast, right? So what am I saying to the youth out there? If you're already innovating, you're in the perfect place. Don't quit because of failure. Try again really quickly. Soon enough, if you're in the right circles with the right people, you will come to the good idea. If you're not yet innovating, again, think of where you want to be in 5 years, and then work backwards. Look around where you are, think of the things that are pain points of the people around you, but even yourself, and begin from there. Again, the trick is fail quickly, and remember, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with.
You're the average of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people you surround yourself with. Thank you very much, Nelson.
You're welcome.
It's great to have you on the desk.
Awesome.
Every time I see you, it's like I'm not seeing you again. So I would love to say thank you to you and the entire Flutterwave management. So to flatter with management, am I going to get a shirt?
Of course.
Okay,
Of course.
So if in case my producer, in case I don't get a shirt, we'll know what to do. All right, now thank you very much for watching The Desk. It is it's been nice catching up with you, and of course it's every Wednesday, same time, same day. We are here on the same station, same presenter, always yours truly, Shadrach Shagaf Kisame. Now if you are a youth out there, you've heard from the main man himself. He has done it. He started with nothing, now here he is. So to you who is there, he has told you, if you've started innovating, do not look back. Now from me and the entire U24 management, we say thank you very much for watching The Desk, a discussion that is always worth hearing, and we trust you've been educated, you've been inspired, and of course you've been motivated. Now good luck, good night, adios, for God and my country, good night.